In this video, we're going to take a look at question 1 from the 2019 Higher Level Mathematics Junior Certificate, Paper 1. So question 1 is fairly straightforward. Let's get right into it. It says that there are 85 students in third year in Liam's school. Part A. 2/5 of these students do business studies. Work out the number of the students who do not do business studies. The important bit of information is this, the 2/5. So we need to work out the number of the students who do not do business studies. You can see that not is underlined and bold, which means that it's quite important for this problem. So there are two ways that you can do it. Actually, there are numerous ways that you can do it, but we're going to look at two. So we know that 2/5 of 85 do business. Wherever in solving a problem you see word of, it means it's a multiplication problem. So if we want to rewrite that as a mathematical statement, we get that the number of students that do business is 2/5 times 85. We can put it into our calculator and get the result equal to 34. So now we know that 2/5 of 85 is 34, but we're interested is the number of students who do not do business studies. So we need to do the second calculation in this problem. So we need to do 85 minus 34 is equal to 51, and that's the correct answer for this particular problem. Another way of solving this problem is by considering 85 as a whole number of students. So we know that 2/5 is number of those students who do business. So if we want to find out the number of students that do not do business, we can calculate it as follows. We take a whole, which is number 1, take a whole, so that's take 1 minus number of students that do business, 2/5, 2/5, and that's equal to 3/5. And now we know that 3/5 is number of students who do business, who do not do business studies. And again, of is an important word over here. Wherever you see of in a mathematical statement, you know it's a multiplication problem. So let's take a look how you would rewrite this. 3/5 times 85 is equal to 51. And again, that's the solution to our problem. In part B of question 1, we are told that 26 of the students in third year do art. We have to work out the percentage of students in third year who do art, correct to 1 decimal place. So it's a problem in two parts. The first part is a part where we need to work out the percentage. And the second part is rounding part. So let's take a look at the first part first. In the first part, we need to work out the percentage of the students in third year who do art. We know that there are 85 students in third year. And we know that 26 of those students do art. Whenever we want to find out what percentage of a larger number is a smaller number, we always put this one on top, put this one in our numerator, so 26, and we divide it by the higher number, divided by 85. And if you put it, and we want to work out the percentage, so we always need to remember to multiply everything by 100%. It's a formula that you all should be familiar with. Now, to get the result, we can put that into our calculator, and we would get that this number is equal to 30.58%. Now, the second part of the question is we need to work out that percentage correct to 1 decimal place. So we need to round to 1 decimal place over here. Remember, whenever you're rounding to a specific decimal place, for instance, in this case, the first decimal place, you look at the second number right behind it. If that number is larger than, equal or greater than 5, then we add 1 to our number and get rid of everything else. If our number is less than 5, we just get rid of everything else. In this case, our number is 8. So that's 8. 8 is greater than 5, which means that we need to round the first decimal place up. So then the result, the final answer to this question will be 30.6%. We need to remember to make sure that we round correctly for the full marks. So the third question, the third part of the first question, is the most difficult one, but it was also the one that was more worth the highest marks. So let's take a look and see if we understand it to make sure that we solve it correctly. So the question tells us that the ratio of students to teachers in Liam School was 15:1. That means it's the ratio. The school hired one extra teacher while the number of students stayed the same. The new ratio of students to teacher was A:1, where A is a member of the set of rational numbers. So we need to put a tick in the correct box to show which statement is true. We only need to tick one box, and we need to give an example to support your answer. The best way to do this question was to first figure it out in the example and then tick the correct box. So let's do this first. Now, what does it mean that there is 15:1 ratio of teachers, students to teachers? Imagine that in Liam School there are 300 students. And there are 20 teachers in the same school. If we divide 300 by 20 and 20 by 20, let's say divided by 20, and let's divide this by 20, we get our original ratio, 15:1. So that's what the ratio is. The simplest way of showing the relationship between two numbers. How do they relate? How many times does one go into the other? Now, we are told that one extra teacher was hired. So we have to make sure that we add the teacher to a number of teachers. On this side we have students, and on this side we have teachers. So when we're solving our problem, we need to make sure that we're not changing the number of the students, which is 300, and we're changing the number of the teachers. Number of teacher changes from 20 to 21. Now, it's not the simplest way of writing this ratio. The simplest way of writing this ratio is when we turn this last number to 1. To turn that last number into 1, we need to divide both 300 and 21 by 21. So we'll do just that. 300, let's divide that by 21, and let's divide 21 by 21. If we divide 21 by 21, the result is obviously 1. Now, if we divide 300 by 21, the result is rounded up 14.29. 14.29. The final part of the question was to write this new ratio of student teachers as 8:1. We have a number that belongs to a rational numbers, so that's 14.21. That's our A, and we have 1 on this side, so we can rewrite it. Now, we have an example, and if we wrote something like this, where we have 300, we add 1 to the number of teachers, then we simplify by dividing both sides by the number of teachers, we would get full marks for this question. Now we just need to make sure that we take the correct answer. Let's look at 14.21. Is 14.29 greater, equal, or smaller than 15? Obviously it is smaller. Let's look at the 3 signs. A is smaller than 15. The bigger number is always on the open side of the crocodile's mouth. So A is smaller than 15. 14.29 is our A, so we tick this box. Take this box, write this example for full marks.